Live. Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 121 of the Self-Publishing Roundtable, the podcast for indie authors by indie authors, where we discuss today's topics and issues that matter to the business of the self-published author. I am your moderator, Wade Finnegan, and my co-panelists this evening are Erica Conroy.
Hey.
Oh, I thought she was like mute there for a second. Xavier Granville.
Yellow internets.
And yes, your screen is not lying. Liam Kingman is really there.
Hello for once.
With crystal clear definition.
Crystal clear, high definition. What Liam looks like tonight. All right. And our special panelist for this evening is editor extraordinaire Jason Whitehead.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Jason.
Hey. Thanks for having me. Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for coming on. Yes. Jason has lots of editing experience. We didn't even add up to how many years, but he's also edited many names that have been on the show, including one that has something with a dinosaur in it or something. But anyway, yeah, he's done lots of good editing work over the years. So, yeah, so we're just really happy to have him on and pick his brain about those things. So, hey, by the way, everybody watching live tonight, please, we encourage you to leave us live comments, questions for Jason. He'll answer them on the air. We have a list of questions for him, of course, but we would love for you guys to weigh in. And also, we have a couple of extras on the website, so if you guys get a chance after the show, check it out. Blog posts are up, things like that. Even got a little donate button maybe you'd like to hit. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. So, Jason, thanks again so much for being here.
Thank you. Thanks,
I'll start off with just the kind of the generic thing, but how did you get into editing in the first place?
Well, I've done this for 20 years, and I started as a Pentagon spokesman. I used to work for the evil empire, and got really sick of lying to the American public. And so then went into journalism, worked for Esquire, the Associated Press, a number of other pubs, but up through that time I had been editing books. I just kind of fell into it maybe 20 years ago. I knew a Chinese literary one of my very first books I ever edited, anthology of Chinese literature, classic, and I just went from there. I could get referrals, I kept doing good work, I was very conscientious.
Cool. Well, that's excellent. That's awesome. All right, guys on the audio, could you hear pretty well? I know we just don't like to do a lot of different things right on air, but if not, I might adjust his volume. Can you guys hear him all right?
It was breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, near the end it was a little quiet, but...
Okay, I'm going to adjust that. Xavier, why don't you do the first question?
Okay, I'll read a question. So, for all those out there that are just, they finished their manuscript, or at least they think that they've finished their manuscript, and what would you recommend for that person looking for that first editor? What do you think they should be looking for? And what decision? How can you help people make those decisions correctly and responsibly?
Well, I think that the state of book editing is really quite shocking, and it's so many people who do it don't know what the hell they're doing. But you have to first build a relationship. Publishing, like any other industry, is like building relationships. It's about finding your right match, someone who gets you as a writer, someone who understands you, understands what you're doing, where you're going. So many of the so-called top editors, they're just old machines, and they'll keep a manuscript for a few weeks or a month, and they'll send it back. And I've read their notes, and it's almost just like they're a copy editor. They don't get into the manuscript. They don't try to understand the voice of the author, where you're going, what you're trying to do. So you got to feel comfortable with the editor that you hire. There has to be a rapport. There has to be a back and forth relationship. And so many times it's just so mechanical. Does that make sense, guys? I mean, so many authors I've talked to, they'll hire an editor for really good money, and they'll just get back. It's not so much to get every paragraph. To do this correctly, you absolutely got to get it in mind. Somebody else has come to me after getting fired for whatever. I can connect to this person, the editor doesn't know what I'm supposed to do. It's all about grammar, it's not about the story. Words are living things. Story is what makes it human. And we have to have an editor. But so many people, I think, when you go online, hire someone, and it often doesn't work out. They get someone who doesn't really get into the meat, bone, skeleton, and the blood of the story.
Okay. It's kind of hard to hear you now. Maybe we should try restarting and yeah, it's kind of getting a bad connection every now and then. Every now and then you'll come across fine.
You might have him just lean in a little bit too. I think it might be. I was trying to do the sensitivity to the microphone. So if you just lean a little more, go ahead, try that.
Better?
Yeah.
I think it's.
Yes.
I think it is a little better. Yeah, that is better. Okay. Sorry, you could be extreme close up, Jason. But
You can always turn the video off if you're very paranoid.
Can I restart the answer, or?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you might as well. I think about the halfway point was when it started getting too hard to hear. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you really have to find the editor that's your right match, a colleague, a collaborator. A good novel is all about the writing. It's also about the editing. Someone who will get into the weeds of the story, the meat and the bones of your narrative, your manuscript, and someone who will really work with you through every last sentence, and is someone who understands what you're trying to do as an author. And so many self-publishing writers, they'll hire someone, and they're never able to find someone they can make that connection with, right? Someone who can go through it, and sure, they'll copy edit it, that's fine, but they also have to be a collaborator and get into the spirit of your manuscript, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's a great way to look at it, and personally, with my experience at least, and given that I've worked with you in the past, that's one thing that I like most about working with you is that you kind of do take that approach of you are helping this person out and you are being paid by this person, but at the same time it is a collaborative thing. The author and editor have to be a seamless engine, and some.
A bad editor can absolutely ruin a manuscript, and a good editor can enable it, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree, and that's like some of the times when I would be going through some of your notes, I would just see a little comment, and I'm like, that wasn't, you didn't make a change. You're just pointing out the fact that you like that line.
Well, I think I'm an editor, but I'm also a writer. I'm an internationally published author too myself, and I think to give that kind of feedback is important, right? It shows you not only what you're doing wrong, but what you're doing right, and so a good editor will reinforce what you're doing that's correct, so that hopefully you can replicate that in future work. That makes sense. Being a good editor is it's about pointing out error. It's also about pointing out what you do right, so that you can continue in future work, right?
we're losing. Yeah, we're losing audio there. Dang it. was good for a little bit, and then I lost it again. That's
I blame Florida because I can.
Blame Jeb Bush. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Just like every now and then it'll come in just fine, and then it'll just kind of slowly go underwater.
Well, I just want to say that a good editor will reinforce the good things you do in the manuscript, right?
Yeah.
They'll point out what you do wrong, sure, which is important, but they'll also point out what you do correctly. Hopefully, in the hopes of having you replicate that in future manuscripts. If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, telling you what you can do well already. Keep doing that.
Right.
More.
It's not just about fixing your comma splices. It's about showing you what you're doing well and correctly as an author, in the hopes that you continue to do that in the future. Right.
Nice. Excellent. Oh,
I can hear you. Sometimes.
I'm going to keep adjusting the controls, guys. Go ahead and pop in with another question.
What are some of the most common mistakes that you see especially starting out authors, making that you see when you're getting their stuff to edit?
Well, it's a good question. I think one of the main problems that you find, they'll think that every word is precious and every word is sacred, and that they can't be changed or they can't be adjusted, right? So, in my experience, the best young authors are the ones who are open to criticism, and maybe every writer has habits, right? Whether it's a comma splice, or it's run-on sentences, or it's trying to pack too much information in one paragraph. So one of the big mistakes that the young, up-and-coming writers make, they're not open to that. If you're going to hire an editor, you've got to listen to this woman or this man. You have to take their advice. You have to put your complete trust in them, right? So yeah, I would say not being open to this. Not being open to new ways of thinking about how to put a paragraph or a sentence. Have to be open.
Right.
And it's very common, and even some of the most established authors of our day, Thomas Pynchon, people like that, they won't always be open to criticism from their editor. And you talked about earlier, it's a collaboration, right? So if you're a collaborator, you've got to trust the person. And you them, you've got to hear their argument, and then not being open. What I'm trying to say is, when they send it to an editor, they think it's perfect. It's great, it's one of the great. And it's not. It has to be vetted. It has to be adjusted. And even the best authors, I need it. Everybody does.
Right.
That's the whole point of getting a different set of eyes on your work, right? And being open. And if you think you've written, the next Confederacy of Dunces, or think you've written the next White Noise, you haven't. Not until that editor does his or her thing and spends a few weeks with it and gets in there in the meat and the bones with you. So you have to be open.
Gotcha.
You can't hire a copy. You have to hire an editor. Someone who will get in there and really suss out every last paragraph. What are you saying here? What are you trying to do here? This character doesn't sound authentic. Doesn't sound real. How you handle dialogue, how you handle character development. As you guys know, there are millions of things to look out for, right? That's what I try to do.
How are you guys doing on the sound? I'm having a hard time, so I'm not trying not to working on it here. But are you guys getting it any better than I am?
No.
No, not really. Not sure what to say. Yeah, every now and then it comes in clearer, and then it kind of slips away into robot world. But yeah.
Should we do a phone call? Is that better? Or what?
Gosh, at this particular point, I don't know. I think we'll just keep dealing with it, and we'll try to do the best we can. I don't know. I noticed you moved outside. I don't think it got any better. So the main thing is just try to get close to the mic, and we'll go from there.
Well, yeah, it seems to be a connection issue, not so much a proximity issue to the mic. The proximity helps, but yeah, locate the router. Get to it.
Yeah, closer to your Wi-Fi source is probably the best thing.
All right, let me try this. Okay.
But I think that's what you're saying about those rookie mistakes that people make, with every word being sacred, and I think that's real advice that a lot of people, because people will slave away for hours or months and years. Who knows how long they've spent on this manuscript? So you don't know what level of attachment they've gotten to this baby.
Well, this manuscript is their child, right? It's their baby, and they're going to guard it with every last fiber of their being. But they also have to be open to change and correction and maybe refinement, polishing around the edges. Does that make sense? So,
yeah.
Every word is not sacred. You have to be open to changing. And a good editor take a good story and make it great story. That's why you hire an editor, right?
Good point.
Any better? No better.
It's about the same. Yeah. We'll deal. Kate Morgan asked a question from the site, which I think is good too. One I was going to go to is, so what does Jason suggest for those indies who can't maybe afford a huge outlay of cash for an editor, or even moderate outlay of cash? Is there a way to effectively self-edit, or ways to budget wisely to be able to afford editing?
There are. You have to find an editor who's willing to work with you. Someone who maybe will accept a payment plan. If that makes sense. Those of us who do this will, I realize it's a big expense, it's a lot of money, and so if you can find the right guy who will work with you, within your budget, I've done that. I've done that a bunch. All the time. Can you guys still hear me? Or?
It got better for a little bit when you walked over, then it got worse again. I don't know. There was a little hot spot right there in the middle.
Okay.
We'll do the best we can. We'll do the best we can.
Let's try that answer again. You have to get an editor who will work with you, right? Someone who doesn't demand payment up front all the time. Someone who can work with you on a payment plan, if that makes sense, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's just it. Like, everyone has their own budget, and as someone who's offering a service, you kind of have to be aware of that, or otherwise be accommodating it in that way.
If you run across an editor who won't work with you, who won't set up a payment plan, who doesn't want to hear about it, you don't need that editor, right? You don't need that person. What you want, guys, is someone who wants to be a collaborator. Like, I want to be a collaborator with my clients, right? I want if they need some pay, they'll work. The goal is to get the story out there in this world, right?
Definitely. Yeah. I don't know, Jason. We're getting to the point. Erica has brought this up. Is the audio is getting so bad that we won't be able to use it, and I don't want to lose all this good stuff though either.
Can we do a phone call? Or?
You have headphones?
What I would say, if anything, we should just reschedule to when you're back home in your usual connection.
Okay.
Just so because you got lots of great information, and I just want to make sure that everyone can hear it.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Oh, hey, no worries.
No, don't apologize.
I've said it already. I don't blame you. I blame Florida.
Don't worry, I blame my internet connection every week.
Yeah.
The issue that you're not hearing me, or it's breaking up, or what's the issue?
Yeah, so we hear you full voice for just a few seconds, and then it gets really, really low, kind of tinny, and then once in a while you'll pop back in, and then it just goes back out again, and so we miss half of what you're saying, and I'd hate to, and I don't think we could get a good enough quality audio to pull that to iTunes, so.
Okay.
It'd be really great if you just had like super short answers. I don't. Yeah. I'd say if we were just rescheduled to when it's a better connection, that way, the fans aren't missing out on anything, and yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Let's reschedule. Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Later in December, is that better for you guys, or what?
Next year.
You let us know what's best for your schedule, because if need be, we can always do it, record it ahead of time and post it afterwards. It doesn't have to be a live thing.
Okay. Well, I was thinking either the 17th or the 24th. Is that okay? Or I know one of us is Christmas Eve. Maybe that's not the best.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it for the 24th.
Yeah.
What about the 17th?
I think we have someone booked on the 17th.
We have Meredith booked for the 17th. We'll get in touch with you offline, Jason, and we can nut out a time and a date that suits all of us then, okay?
Sorry, guys.
Hey, no worries.
worries.
No worries.
Thank
We
you very
appreciate
much
your
for
time.
coming on.
I just want to say I do hope I get the chance to come back on the show.
Oh yeah, you definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. For sure.
I've got a lot to say about all this stuff. So give me another shot, and,
Okay.
Totally.
Thank you.
We will. All right.
Bye,
Thanks.
Jason.
Hey,
All right.
thanks, Jason.
thank you, man.
Do you guys want to say anything about the site before we wrap up tonight?
I think we should keep going, and we should just have a discussion on our own. I mean, a few of us have experiences with editors, don't we? We could at least put something out for the viewers.
We don't want to waste my internet connection.
Yeah, I mean, we could at least another half an hour.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. We don't want to waste Liam's internet. Yeah. Yes. So let me just do that real quick. Okay. Well, where's Xavier?
I don't know. Let's keep going, though.
Okay.
Screw this, I'm out of here.
This has been a weird one tonight. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, listeners. We'll probably not include this on the iTunes version or the audio. We'll edit it up so you guys get to hear what we talk about next instead of what happened with Jason. We'll have Jason on another night. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, like, the little bit you could hear, he had some great stuff to say, so.
We'll hopefully say it again next time.
Definitely.
Yes. Okay. So, what do you guys want to talk about first?
Okay. Well, I have
So I understand how you guys feel about my internet connection now.
So, Liam, what kind of experiences do you have with your editors? I mean, did you find one that worked with you right away, or did it take some hunting and...
Most of the stuff that I've had has been done. I haven't used a professional editor yet. For the stuff that I have published under other pen names, it's been either edited by the person that I co-wrote it with, or I've got some friends that have English degrees that have helped me out with it, so some different things with that. So I haven't. Jason is the person that I actually will be using for my editor. I've talked to him the last couple of years and developed a little bit, just like a friendship or anything, like so much as like we talk every now and again. And he's a great guy, so that's who I'm comfortable with to have editing my stuff. So I'm not the best person on that topic yet.
Okay, that's fine. But that comes under again what Kate asked about those who can't afford an editor straight away, or those who, for whatever reason, won't be using an editor. I think just getting an extra set of eyes on it
Yes.
is the least you can do, right? Because
No, most
our eyes
definitely.
will,
It's
yeah.
what Jason was saying that we could hear. It is a collaborative process, and I think, at least from the people that I've talked to and everything, the people that have really liked their editors are the ones that had that collaborative experience. The ones that really didn't like their editors are the ones that they just didn't understand the story, didn't understand the voice of the author, and just came back with things that just really, really didn't agree with.
Yeah, I think the worst thing that you could do is edit outside of genre. Like, if you're the type of person who, is a reader of fantasy or a reader of romance, and you know these genres well, and that's why that you excel at being an editor in that genre. Maybe don't accept the manuscript that's going to be crime adventure with time travel. You might be able to edit it, but you're not an authority. So,
Right.
No. Oh, I think that again, if you don't have the money and you do have a friend who has some editing experience, or even just an English major kind of experience, they can do the kind of copy editing, but nothing developmental or anything like that, because they have the spelling, the grammar, the cliches, and that kind of level of editing that they can do. But yeah, they're not, like X said, they're not an authority. And I suppose that's where your beta readers come in handy, because they're obviously people who love the genre, know what the usual tropes are, and if you've gone too far out of your crime ridery time travel kind of genre and you've gone and slipped into, I don't know, erotica or something, they'd be like, hey, whoa, no.
How does one slip into
Put that
erotica?
back in I was just looking for an obvious example. So I think that's some ways you can do it on the cheap if you really have to.
Now, do you guys all self-edit as well, or do you just like get? Do you? Boy, I guess I'll break that in two parts. Do you guys make sure you get to the end before you start editing, which I know I don't do, is a bad no-no, and then do you guys self-edit it? Xavier, go.
I am the worst at self-editing. What was the first part of the question? Sorry.
Do you wait till you get to the end before you start editing?
Oh God, no! No, my neuroses do not allow for that.
Mine either. I don't. Oh, it's so bad.
Oh no! I like, if I notice that I've started like 3 sentences with a word that begins with the same letter, I freak out.
That's really specific. I usually I'm not the same leader, but the same word. I try to alternate it. If I have to, like if I use the character's name and it's the next paragraph, I use like a different pronoun. For them.
Oh yeah, but like, I freak out over, like, if I have a sentence that begins with basically, as an example, and then the next sentence begins with bear. I'm like, nope. I can't.
Basically bear.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if I see basically bear. If I see just a kind of a line of text where I see the same letters coming up more often than where it starts to start looking like a pattern or a poem or some shit, like then I start getting kind of anal about it, and those are just like the little things that I spot out of the corner of my eye. This isn't the stuff that I'm actually reading through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like the
definitely
aesthetic
slows.
look.
Yeah.
Yes, the aesthetic look. Yes, that's totally it. Yeah, and I think a lot there is something to that, just because it's a reason why they don't friggin' sell books with like 8-point font size anymore and shit like that. Like, if you're going to be reading, you want it to be a comfortable, immersive experience. You don't want to be cross-eyed.
Yeah, but that comes under formatting, and you don't have to worry about that again until way later in the process, after you've finished writing and editing and.
I know this.
So don't get them mixed up. I do tend to wait till I get to the end. I mean, especially if I know I have to completely rewrite something, I just continue writing as if I've already rewritten it and make a note and come back to it later. Just because I know if I sit there and try and fix it, I'm not going to get to the end anytime soon. So I want to finish it. And even if I've got little gaps and placeholders or whatever, still being able to write the end at the end is just the best feeling, and then I can go back and fix whatever I've left out or fucked up. I don't know.
I need to do that. That's good self-discipline, and I know I've heard other writers talk about that, but I'm kind of like Xavier, I think, and I just can't handle it. I got to go back and fix it. So that's really good, Eric. I like that. So what do you put for a placeholder? When you say placeholder, do you just say like?
I hate the question marks. It's usually mine.
Okay, so just like leave a little space and okay. So you don't even write like yourself like a little beat or anything. You just kind of just go up. All right.
No, I mean if I have something in mind, I might write it in like a comment or something. But particularly if I get stuck on a stupid word that I can't think of, I just leave 2 question marks and continue writing on. If I'm like, I don't know how they get from this scene to this scene, I just leave. In a new paragraph, I just have a question mark, so it's easy to see when I go back, or easy to find, or do a Control F for. Sometimes where I find I get to the end and I go back to it, I find that I don't need to transition that scene to that scene. It works fine, so I just delete the question mark. So it's like almost if I've got some space away from what I think is a problem and I've just left a placeholder for, sometimes I come back and realize it actually wasn't a problem in the first place.
That's interesting. Okay, I like that because I get hung up a lot. I do that to myself, and I know it's kind of self-sabotaging. But you get like this nagging feeling. Okay, something's not right here. But I like what you do. There's just move on. So. I like it.
I do it a little bit different than I have to go. I don't self-edit while I'm doing the draft. I leave it for the end. Basically, I have to keep pushing forward with it, but I don't always write in order either. I beat everything out, and I know a rough outline of what I'm going to do, but I don't know necessarily every detail of the story going out. So I usually start with doing like the first couple chapters or the first couple scenes, and then I might jump ahead to the middle because I really know what I want to have happen for this, and then I'll go back where I know what's going to happen in between, and then fill in the blanks in the middle of it. But for the self-editing part of it, yeah, that's kind of for the end, and I'm horrible about getting that started too.
I just want to add in there, sometimes I do end up writing ahead, but it's only because if I have a scene that is just so in my head right now, and I'm like, I've even got dialogue, and and I'm like, no, I've just got to get it out now, otherwise I'm going to forget it later, or it's going to distract me while I'm trying to write up to it. For a lot of romance and erotica authors, I would say that's usually the sex scene, but it could be any scene that's just really sticking in your head or has fully formed in your head, so it's best just to get it out when it is in there.
I do that a lot with the dialogue as well. I'll write the dialogue ahead and come back and fill in the blanks for the scene later on.
Nice.
But self-editing, do you do self-editing, Liam, or do you just hand it straight over to your friends or your co-writer? Or
I do a second pass just to make sure that everything is cohesive and flows like for what I was going for. And a lot of times there will be different scenes that I know that I want to expand on in the second draft, or something I want to add. So I will do the second pass through on it before I pass it off, and then usually I'll go back and do 1 or 2 more passes after that just to make sure everything's the way I want it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good way to do it. That way it's not totally rough, but it's not totally polished either.
Yep.
Some editors, if you do go with the editing route, some editors have like what they consider to be a submission standard. They want you to have done all of your self-editing, maybe had your betas at it, make sure, so you've polished it as far as you can before they'll even look at it. I think sometimes they're a little bit snooty. I haven't encountered I haven't encountered them yet. I've only encountered the ones who are like, "Yep, let's go do this." You know, the ones who'll take anything. I prefer them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. How did you find your editor, Erica?
Oh, she was on a writing forum, and a number of people were saying how great she was at what she was doing. And because it was a writing forum for like erotica and romance authors, I knew there would be no judging. So you get some people that won't look at romance, some people who are sci-fi only or whatever. So I knew she was on the genre I was writing, and she had really good feedback from people saying how helpful she was. And she's been great, actually. I like to make her laugh. She'll leave little lol comments in places that are funny, and it's really good when they match up with the places I actually want to be funny. So she's almost like a beta reader as well as being an editor. She's not really a developmental editor. She's more of I would say copy editor, as opposed to developmental. But if there's anything obvious, she will point it out. She was a bit lost in one story I gave her because it was the second part of a serial and she hadn't edited the first part. And I'd been sure to included little descriptions about all of the characters, but I forgot one character because he's a shower. I mean, the shower was given a name, and the main character keeps referring to him, and she was like, "Who's this person? You've not left him in that." And she goes, "Oh, never mind. I found out he's a shower. That is awesome."
That is awesome.
Yeah. So it was good she was willing to jump in, even though she was, a bit lost as to what was going on. But yeah, I think if you can give them a bit of background information, there are some of them that are able to jump right in there and help you are great. But yeah, like I said, I went for her because there was recommendations, and it was in the genre I was writing.
And did you feel like you didn't need a developmental editor? I mean, some people think we've talked to really say that developmental editing is important, but others, just like just give me a good copy edit. So,
I think it's more important if you're doing a longer piece of work. Most of mine are under 40,000 words long. The ones I'm writing at the moment are between 9 to 15,000 words. So I don't think it's too much of something I need to go into. But if I was doing something longer, I might consider it, but I just don't feel like it. I don't know why. I don't know what they would bring. Maybe if is Jason a developmental editor?
In my experience, he's given me developmental edits along with the copywriting. He tends to, at least what I saw, advertise more for the copywriting. But when his notes are pretty in depth. So yeah, he kind of does push that line between the two.
Okay. Maybe I would look into it. But yeah, I think, like Jason said, it would need to be someone I was comfortable with developing a relationship with, so it would be more collaborative. Otherwise, my editor's more of a copy editor and line editor. So even though I do have some sort of relationship with her, I don't feel like I need a very big relationship with her at the moment. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I would like the idea of having a go-to editor that you feel like a partner with, but that would take time to develop, and that wouldn't necessarily and more money. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys that. Do you guys actually have like a line item, especially for the ones that are not working a day job right now, on your expenses for editing? Do you automatically budget out for that?
Yeah, I think no matter what, like especially when it comes to per project, a novel will have a budget, a novella should have its budget, and likewise short stories will have their own budget. So, yeah, I think you have to kind of know how what's the level of investment that you have to be putting into these things, and are these is this your showcase item? Is this something that has top priority, and you want it to be on your front page, and it's the one that you're hoping everyone's going to be clicking on and generating the sales for, or is it, you know, a just something to make your catalog look bigger?
Yeah, we're always trying to make our catalog looks bigger, aren't we, Xavier?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to add inches to my catalog.
And the editor helps with that, or the track? No.
Depends how good your editor is.
I suppose, yeah.
Oh, well, since Liam's not actually gone the professional editor route just yet, I guess I'm the other person who has to answer that question. At the moment, I don't budget out because it's not too big of an expense for me at the moment. It is the biggest expense I have, though, since I do everything else myself. But yeah, it doesn't usually come to that much for me. The editor charges on a word count basis, and yeah, I like her because she has a really fast turnaround time. So if it's under 30,000 words, she works on it that day, the day that you've booked her for to do it, and she doesn't work on anyone else's work. She just works on it for that day. So it's once she's got it, it's like a 24-hour turnaround. If it's any longer, it takes 2 or more days. So, but yeah, she has a very full calendar, and she puts it on her website even to say, these dates are booked. Don't book me for them. So, yeah.
That's cool. Oh, that's cool though. She's dedicated to what she wants to do for you, so that's awesome. I mean, that.
And it's also good that I've got her there, because sometimes I don't have time to do the self-editing. I do what Liam does. I go through it for second pass. I do any tweaks or rewriting, catch my own mistakes, that kind of thing. And I also try to put it through editing software just to get the grammar correct, and for Americanization, it'll pull up any Britishisms I've got in there. But my editor also does Americanization as well. It's part of what she offers, which is great. But yeah, the last book I submitted to her, I'm actually using her as my deadlines. So I book a date with her, and it's my deadline. So I'm a procrastinator and basically work on crunch time. And last time I submitted a book, I didn't give myself any time for my self-editing, so I just went, no, I'll just send it in and ask you to be extra careful. And it worked. So I think I'll be doing that again this time.
Be extra careful and don't yell at me, please.
I didn't tell her that I didn't do my own self-edit, but yeah, I just went, I'm not sure how it's going to be. Can you just be a little bit more not thorough, but you know, I don't know.
What grammar software do you put it through?
My grammar software it's actually called Editor. That's really stupid, an unhelpful name, because there's probably a lot called Editor. But I think it's from Serenity Software Studios or something like that. I actually bought it several years ago, so I'm not sure how up to date it is, and I probably should be looking for something different and more recent. But I think it still uses the Oxford comma, so I'd like to stay that way, because I don't want anyone to accidentally read it in a way that says, "Wait, hang on, what the what? She did what?" You know. So yeah.
Yeah, I can see where that could get a little troublesome. Yes, and how about you, Liam? What software to use?
I haven't used any grammar software. I've looked at a lot, but I haven't really used any grammar software per se.
Yeah, me either. I'm probably like Eric. I should buck up probably and buy something and put it on, but just using the built-ins right now. I feel like, of course,
yeah, same with me.
Yeah, I feel like being a teacher, I've read lots of stuff, and I've edited a lot of stuff that was really, really bad. But so I feel like I can catch those things, but at the same time, maybe I shouldn't. You know, it's one of those things too. I think sometimes it's good to have some distance from your own work, and
I mean, there are tricks, like you can totally you've gone through it so many times, so you've got your distance. You can change the font completely when you do a read through or look at it on a different device. Another good one is to have your computer read it out loud to you, because then you're more likely to catch errors. Although it'll sound really stupid because it's a computer voice, but or read it out loud yourself if you can stand that. Yeah, but yeah, I think you should do everything you possibly can when you're starting out, but once you've kind of developed a routine or something, I mean, I have like a flow chart on my wall in my office, and I just move a sticky note to show how I'm moving through my process, and when the next book starts, I start it all over again. So I think it's efficient for me anyway. So.
Yeah, for a procrastinator, that sounds like almost like anal.
Yeah, I have to-do lists and whiteboards, but that's another way to procrastinate. So.
Try to make more lists, right? Yeah. Now, actually, I'm kind of interested in that flow chart. How long did it take you to develop that over a period of time, or?
I have no idea, actually, to be honest. It's just basically looking at, because everyone seems to have a process, whether or not they can articulate it or not. But you usually start with gathering ideas, maybe writing out an outline or a plot or something like that, getting the first draft done, doing a redraft or a rewrite if necessary, putting it through my software, sending it off to the editor, bringing it back, making the changes. If it's lucky, it goes to another person to read, because you're likely to introduce some errors when you're fixing the errors the editor's pointed out, or maybe the editor's actually missed something, which has happened. They can't catch everything. No one's perfect. But yeah, and then it goes through my publishing process, which it's usually about an A5 sheet of paper long. My whole process. So, and that includes stuff like book ads, spam, Twitter, Facebook, and forums.
Does it actually say spam?
Oh yeah, I'm totally honest, and there's only limited amount of room I can write like one line for each thing. So. Spam's accurate and efficient way of saying post all the things.
Get the word out, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I like that. I think that's great info for people to hear. We're always kind of tweaking too, right? Trying to get it better, be more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Figure ourselves out. I think a lot of it is just figuring out what you do best, and what you're poor at, then you hire out.
And yeah. Oh, and even when it comes back from the editor, you'll quickly see what your common mistakes are, because you'll make the same mistake throughout that manuscript many, many times, and you'll sit there and go, "Oh my fucking god!" And hopefully it'll sink in for when you're writing your first draft next time, not to do that or to do that,
Right.
So it is good to get those extra eyes in there before the readers start going, "What?"
Did you have that epiphany too, X, when Jason did Dinosaur Noir? Did you have the same recurring mistakes?
Yeah, I think it'll always be that it's the repetition of like you tend to use this word a lot, and then when you look back, you're like, holy shit, I do. I think that was kind of one of those moments for me. Like it's just kind of like it's like you say although a lot, and I'm like, although I don't, screw you.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Oh, when you said basically earlier, the basically bear thing.
Basically bear.
Yeah, basically is a common one, because you just it must be something from our generation, like the like thing, like a fox. But we use basically instead, especially to start a sentence. It's so stupid, but we do it so often.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Idiosyncrasies that we have as writers, and but it's good that, like I say, somebody get another set of eyes on it to catch that stuff. So.
Chris Sean said earlier something that will probably be very helpful to everyone who's looking for an editor. But basically, most editors will let you submit like a sample. So they not only can they see what your likely mistakes or common errors will be, but you can also see how they edit that sample. And it's usually, I don't know, some people it's 2 to 5 pages, other people it's the first 1,000 words. Really depends on what they do. So they'll do that usually for free. I've seen some people try to charge for that, but yeah, you're better off finding ones who will at least do that sample for free. And you can see, where the mistakes are and if you agree with them or not, because you don't have to make all of the changes they suggest, but it's good to see what kind of changes they will suggest, so you can see if if they annoy you or not.
True. What else do we want to talk about? Anything else come to mind?
So, how's that book coming along there, Wade?
Gosh, you're so nice, Xavier.
We should do this at the end of every show.
I know,
what are you
right?
up to?
Yeah, just guilt me into everything. It's coming along. It's coming along. I'm not going to divulge any more than that tonight. I'm just going to say it's coming along. I haven't hit January 1st yet, so then you can't really start berating me until January 1st. So.
No. We can start before January 1st. I'll make sure.
Yeah, you guys are so nice. No, actually, I do. I like it though, but.
Weight Watchers. It's Wade.
Yes, it's like Weight Watchers. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, watch Wade step on the scale. Everybody look.
Show us your
another
word.
word. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same battle I continually have, and I know what the answer is, and don't need to bring Matt Morris back on to tell me. You make time for things.
You find time.
Yeah. Don't bring Matt back.
You're gonna make me cry. No,
You made X cry.
But X always cries. So
I know. I can't help it.
Bite the pillow.
Yeah.
Well, so this is the part of the show I normally miss.
Oh, this is usually most of the part.
In the first part, in the middle part.
There's that too, in the middle.
Yeah, this must be such a thrilling experience for you, Liam.
So different than not messing with the router the entire time, bitching, swearing.
Is this edgy, your steed excitement?
It is.
Look at
Technicolor.
I can hear them so clearly.
Is there
Guys,
anything
I am
else we should talk about?
Well, I mean, it's
proofread copying or whatever related.
Wade and Liam, did either of you guys go back and listen to the episode that Eric and I did of the plot brainstorming?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I haven't yet. Sorry, I've been swamped with work.
Bad internet connection. You can't.
Yeah, you were doing so well, Liam, and then you just plummeted again.
I could lie and say I did.
And we'll be like, so you're all right to do it? And you'll be like,
I will. I just haven't got there yet.
Well, we talked about maybe compiling a box set of stories based on some of the plot and character points that we came up with.
Okay.
And I think we're shooting what was it, 10,000 words, Erica?
Aiming for 10,000, but it can go over or under.
Yeah. And there was a bunch of different things that you can choose from the prompts. There was, because it had to involve a flood, had to have a female protagonist.
Okay.
Had to involve a male character as well, but doesn't have to be a love interest. The girl had a couple personality traits to choose from.
And there needs to be an insurance salesman in there somewhere.
Yeah, or at least referenced. Yeah.
So for everybody that's listening on this later, that's episode 120. Okay, so you can go back and listen to that as well. So
Yes.
And the information's actually written out in the post on the website, so you'll have to go to the website if you want that information in front of you. Wade, what's our website?
Well, it's pretty easy. Selfpublishingroundtable.com. Yeah, we didn't go for extra catchy or anything. So yes, visit us at selfpublishingroundtable.com. The website is improving, by the way, too. We're getting more posts up, and it just looks like fancier, and we're getting better, and we're going to improve in 2016. So, visit our website, selfpublishingroundtable.com. Yeah, and then write. So are we really gonna do the box sets like for any submissions, or was that totally clear on how you guys were gonna do that?
We're not clear at all. We just said anyone who wants to write one, and then we'll go from there. Yeah.
So, okay. So write one, send one. Who are we gonna send that? Where do they send that to?
Well, that's a good question. What's the email address for the Self-Publishing Roundtable, Wade?
You want me to pull that up right now too? I don't have that in front of me.
Come on, you had the website.
Yeah.
selfpubrt@gmail.com.
Thank you, Xavier, bailing me out. selfpubrt@gmail.com. We should probably put that on the post or somewhere too, or maybe have a little extra post on the blog. But yeah, we'll do that. So you guys can submit selfpubrt@gmail.com. So shooting for 10,000. We're not a stickler on that though. Could be a little less. Could be a little
long
more.
as we did stipulate if you write a novel, publish it yourself. We don't want it.
I don't want your novel.
I don't want to read that much.
Yeah, I'm an author who hates reading.
I don't like to read other authors' work. No.
Erica writes so good. She just wants to read her own stuff.
Sometimes you have to, though, before you write the next in the series. You're like, oh, crap, what voice did I use?
Yeah. What actually happened there? Yeah.
Oh, I know what happened.
Oh.
It's what plot outlines are for. That's why it's good to keep updating them as you go, because you know how your characters run off and try to kill their husband or whatever, and you're like, what? I so didn't see that coming. You have to update your plot as you go, so you can, there's got to be a consequence there somewhere coming up.
That is true. Those damn characters do things you weren't expecting, and I think we talked about that on here before, but it is weird sometimes. It's like, wait a second. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Hang on, no, she's fallen in love with the wrong man.
No, but Rachel's supposed to end up with Ross.
Joey, no! Don't boy.
Okay, we're going off the rails a little bit, but that's okay.
Well, then maybe it's time for us to end it. It's the end of the hour. We can go have an after party and continue this madness and shenanigans with the audience if they so choose to join us.
Choose, yes.
Yeah, if you guys have been listening along and want to join in at this point, hey, feel free.
So yes, I do want to say thank you to Jason again. I know it is a pain in the butt when technology does not work like you think it should, and we do appreciate him taking time, and we will for sure have him back on at a later date. So visit the website, subscribe. You'll even know then, and we'll get Jason back on and talk to him and pick his brain, because he does have a wealth of knowledge about this stuff. So yes. So thank you, Jason. Thank you to everybody that stuck with us tonight, too, through all the technical difficulties. We do appreciate our fans very, very much. iTunes is up to date. You guys can check us out there. Stitcher. Also, just, if you'd like to see our lovely faces, watch us on YouTube. Share us around the internets. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. We also even put a little donate button on the website. Maybe you might want to click that. Yeah, buy us a cup of coffee or something. So help us to keep this show viable. So Yeah, I think
That's
that's
like $20 a month or something. So that's a big coffee. Oh, it's like a Long Island iced tea. There you go.
there. You go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just imagine that like Wade's a hot single girl and you're just buying her a mojito.
What?
Really, really,
Wadeita?
X? Really, X?
Yeah, specifically a mojito.
Wow. Okay, with that note, I think it's time for Xavier to say something else.
Mojito. Good night, Internet.